have today.
Oh boy. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I finally got the camera on my laptop working, so now I'm in my office instead of in my girlfriend's office. So just in case you were wondering why the background's a little different. You know what? There was a line there. We have ceased fighting anything or anyone, well, to paraphrase. Ceased fighting anything or anyone. I haven't accomplished that yet. I don't see how I'm ever going to accomplish it. After 16 years of practicing the principles of this program, I really don't think that my personality is going to change enough that I'm going to be able to stop fighting anyone or anything. And you know who I fight the most? Myself. That's who I wind up fighting the most, myself. Which kind of goes to like what Sarah said about the movie. Of all the movies you could possibly choose from, thousands, maybe tens of thousands in the last since they started making movies, going back to the silent movie days, of all the movies you could possibly want to watch. Don't watch comedy, Don't watch something from the Hallmark Channel, about a love story or anything like that. Let's watch Nuremberg about the Holocaust. So it's like that phrase that I touch of the hot stove reminds me of there's a guy in my new group who uses that. He's a hot stove toucher, he says, and it reminds me of a moth. The moth always flies into a flame, and for some reason, I don't know if it's just alcoholics or humans in general, but we have a tendency to do that. Just go like pull the apple off the tree. It's forbidden fruit. Eat from any tree you want here, but not that tree. What tree do they eat from? They eat from the apple tree, and ruin everything. Now you're thrown out. Get out, get out, get out of the Garden of Eden. Now you have to grow your own food. Now you have to fight each other. Now the snake's going to bite your ankle. And that's whether or not you believe the Bible or the stories, or if it's real or not, there's stories in there that are trying to teach us about our own human personalities, our tendencies, and that story about them eating from the forbidden fruit of the only tree in the Garden of Eden that they were told, please don't eat from this tree. They eat from it. So when you find yourself touching a hot stove, that's that instinct that they're trying to explain to you in the Bible. You're touching a hot stove, you're going out with someone that you shouldn't be going out with. You're doing something, you're taking that drink that you shouldn't take. But you're convincing yourself, like the guy in the big book, you know, well, I stopped in, I had a sandwich, I figured I had a glass of milk. I figured like one shot of scotch was going to be okay. I took it, didn't do anything. So I figured the second one would be okay. You know, you're convincing yourself, that it's okay. Um, that would be like, you know, eating a full pepperoni pizza or something like that and thinking to yourself, I'm not going to get sick this time. I'm sure I can handle it. Oh, and talk about that's just human nature. And that's why I don't watch movies anymore. I like Russell Crowe too. I don't know whatever happened to him. He gained 200 pounds, but he's still a good actor. But I would never watch that movie for many, many reasons. One of them is that I don't like the agenda that the people who are making the movie have. I don't like to be manipulated for 2 hours into feeling bad and feeling sorry. And what a coincidence that movie should come out just when the Gaza Strip genocide is happening. I could go on and on down that line of reasoning, but I won't. So my main problem, the person I'm fighting the most is myself, because on one shoulder I got the voice. It's the principles of AA. Oh, You should try to be nice. You should try to be thoughtful. You should try to be patient. You should try to be tolerant. You should love others. La 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 la. On this side of the shoulder, I got the exact opposite voice, and they're constantly fighting right here. This is the battleground here. Uh, and it's very simple for me to just get irritated with other human beings. Quick example is people drive a little bit differently down here in Ocean County than they do up in Morris and Passaic County. Uh, so on the way to the meeting every morning, it takes me a half hour to get to Tom's River, St. Luke's, in case you're ever down this way at 7 a.m. Uh, Down here, red lights, uh, yellow lights. Like when you come to a traffic light, if it's yellow, that doesn't mean slow down and stop. That means speed up and try to get through as fast as possible. And then if it turns red, that doesn't mean stop. That means we suggest that you stop. So most people don't. They just go right through the red light. Even though if I have a green light now, so I have to train myself. When the light turns green, to me, that does not mean go. That means keep your foot on the brake, wait and see how many crazy people are going to drive through the red light right in front of where you were going to be if you had followed the instructions of, oh, it's green, I can go. Boom. The main highway down here, instead of Route 23, is called Route 70. There's a fatality there every week. There's an accident every day. Uh, they don't use blinkers. Uh, they don't. They like to tailgate, and they don't know that it's polite to turn off your high beams. When you're blind in oncoming traffic. So by the time I get to this meeting, St. Luke's, I'm a basket case. I'm ready to choke somebody. I'm ready to kill somebody. And I spend 15 minutes in the parking lot, just sitting there doing deep breathing exercises. Then I go into the church 15 minutes before the meeting starts and try to talk to the people that I've met in this group and get myself squared away. And that usually takes some time too. And then by the time the meeting's over with, I'm back on the beam, on the AA beam. Okay. But I have to drive home now in rush hour traffic. Now it's rush hour. Uh, Garden State Parkway. I'm down the shore, bro. Wait till the summertime. Oh, it's a constant struggle. The I've said this for 16 years. I'll probably be saying it 16 years from now if God grants me the time. This program goes 180 degrees against my nature, against everything I've learned, against my personality. Everything is twisted and turned around. Instead of loving people, my nature is to hate people. Instead of being tolerant, my nature is to be intolerant. Instead of being calm and passive, my nature is to be aggressive and angry. So I have a constant battle going on with myself. I know I want to. I want to be the type of AA who can say, um, I've ceased fighting everything and everyone. I really wish I could do that, but it's a constant battle. So because it's a constant battle, there is no peace. There is no serenity. It's a constant battle. When I get peace and serenity? Sometimes when I'm asleep, if I don't fall into a nightmare. Oh boy, I'll tell you, that's quite a promise. Of all the promises. And by the way, there's this guy in my new group who's I wouldn't call him a big book pounder, but he can quote chapter and verse out of the big book. It's unbelievable. I don't know. He must have one of those memories that just like it's there. and he says there's over 200 promises in the big book, not not the promises, the 12 promises. There's 200 promises in the big book. Um, so I don't know. Sometimes I have it, and sometimes I lose it, and then I have to battle to get it back again. So that whole line of ceased fighting anything or anyone, I don't see that ever happening for me. Not without a lobotomy or one of these new anti-depression patches they have that they're selling online. Uh, Pray for me. Honest, nobody's going to compare to us. Okay. By the way, I'd like to know how's everybody doing up there? How's our priest friend? I got to stop in one of these days. Hey, what's a 2.5 hour ride up there to go see you guys, right? In person.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll make it a surprise. I won't tell anybody. This way, the room won't be empty when I walk in. I'll surprise everybody. That's all I got to share today. Thanks.